goat killed a human? What?
And welcome to the land of Hampi, which is home to many cultural places rich of heritage. It's like Hampi Bazaar, Vijay Vittala Temple, Virupaksha Temple, and so on. You will see so many scenes there that will leave you amazed. This is the Banushree Resorts in Badami, and I really recommend you stay here.
So tomorrow we're going to the Badami Cave Temple. This mixes the more northern and southern architecture, and most of the temples in India takes the works from here as an inspiration. So over here it is made out of red sandstone. There are pictures of couples and it's very detailed, and the eye sockets are deep and the eyes are half closed, and there's a lot of detailing and perfectionism and artship, craftsmanship here. Goat killed a human? What? Also, there is an Agastya lake here, and this is the lake with the weirdest history in India. I am talking about the Agastya lake. So there was a devil whose name I have forgotten, but the plan was that the devil would come in the form of a goat, and the brother would kill the goat and make a curry out of the goat and eat it, and the goat would come out of the stomach and kill the brother. But the whole plan was foiled when sage Agastya, who apparently had very strong digestive powers, killed the goat, and that's how the devil died, and that's how the name sage Agastya Lake. So that was a piece of information I found on Wikipedia and in the brochure at this hotel. So yeah, I think this is one of the weirdest pieces of history and the most messed up story I've come across. Come with us to the Badami Cave Temple.
Here is a pro tip
Guess
you
where we
might
are.
want to
Here
use.
at
So
the
we
Pattadakal in
usually
Badami.
very
This place
frequently
is
book
famous
hotels
for
on
both
websites
north and
like
southern
Agoda
Bangalore
and Make My
architecture
Trip.
come
So
together.
when you
This
do
is a
that, they
place
kind
where
of
kings
reward
used to
you.
get crowned back
So a
then.
person who has
Imagine
used it for
embodiment
quite a
of
while,
of this
like
place.
months,
Let's go
weeks,
check this place.
and another person who used it newly gets different offers. So we got a really good offer for a normal hotel price for this resort. So that's how we ended up here. It was really beautiful. There were people with these huge ass cameras with lens which were half of my size and taking photos because there was a lot of wildlife. Next, we went to Pattadakal, which represents the high quality art from the 7th and 8th century under the Chalukya dynasty. It was so beautiful. There were even these marks by the artists which represented attendance or the days which they came. See, attendance was hard to bunk even back in the day. It was so amazing. We looked at all the carvings. Some of them were ruined, but the ones which were preserved were actually quite beautiful. The crowd there was a mix of both locals and foreigners. There were Japanese and these Westerners, and Dad was our makeshift guide who had read things from Google and watched a lot of vlogs on YouTube and explained everything to us. All the beautiful architecture in this temple was dedicated to Lord Shiva. It was really nice. We entered and it was really dark. We had to remove our shoes, and on the inside there was the Shivlanga, which was so cool and cold. I mean, it was a pity that it was reduced to ruins by the Delhi Sultanates because it was indeed a work of art. I mean, imagine building all of this back in the day when you had to scrounge for your next meal. I mean, that was something I was awestruck about. Speaking of navigation, there are direct buses from Bangalore, and actually, we went in our car, so Google Maps was a great help. More often than not, we think what we would do without Google Maps, but it was the best. Also, Pattadakalu is a little tricky to find, but if you ask around the locals, they will guide you and you will find the way. There was also a water pump which we played with. It was not functional, I guess, but somehow when I used it, it did not work, and when the locals used it, it did work. So I don't know what's with that. So many different things. Like they sold powders like kumkum and basmam and chandan, like they were essentials. I first thought there were some powders like turmeric or some grounded vegetables. I'm not sure, but later I decided that they were weighing and they were selling these powders which people would take back home. I mean, they were from such precious places. I also noticed things that when people there sold things, they were usually the locals and did not quite know the marketing tactics. So when we approach their shops to buy something and when we ask for the price, they kind of rudely answer, and it is actually the directness which comes off as rude. And if you don't like it, they just tell us to get out of there. I mean, I understand that they are not used to people and a lot of tourists around that place, but there was something different. I like the directness in them, which the city people do not possess. Like someone in the city could totally hate you, but they would act like they were your bestie. So this was something that is genuine about the people here. I took a lot of photos, and the photographer in me was like, you know what, let's go full on. Some of the stones here had these monolithic inscriptions. They were in Kannada and it was very similar to the modern day Kannada. And in the previous videos, me and my sister were trying to dissect it. If you haven't watched it yet, you should. This was really nice. Actually, if you go here, you should go prepared to visit a lot of places because there are many places close by, like the Lotus Temple, the Elephant Temple. We got a guide who, for 1,000 rupees, took us around all these places. Please don't try going alone because you need guidance. They take you to the right places. There are even a few smaller places, and there are times to go, and the stones get really hot, and you might get all bummed out, and your mood will be ruined unless you have a guide who tells you where to go and when. Another interesting thing was that the guide did not have a phone. So he drops it at each place. At the first place, my dad was like, "At what time should we be back? Like, can I have your number so we can call you?" He's like, I don't have a phone. We were like, so, like, how are we gonna meet? He's like, I'll be right here.
What is his name? Lutapi? Dang it. What is the name?
Just turn around, ask mom.
So, yes, that's all about the Humpy vlog. We finally got to editing this. See you in the next one. A lot of interesting ones coming. Bye bye.